Okay, so here we go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to BWTM Sports. Now, there's been a lot of talk recently about this fight between Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. If you want to know my thoughts on this fight, I'll tell you what. I think this fight's going to happen. I think this fight's damn well going to happen. And there's a lot of reasons why I think this fight's going to happen faster than Joshua versus Wilder. Here's my points, and you can pick them out yourself. When you are genuinely good to good people are good to you. Remember what I said here. When you're generally good to good people are good to you. And good people have no time to play games. They'll tell you the truth. They'll take the chance. They trust you. Now, this fight you see here between Fury and Wilder, a lot of people will get involved and get caught up in the drama between the two promoters who don't like one another for obvious reasons. But what you first got to understand is the relationship between these two men, Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. There's a mutual respect between both men. And for all the antics we saw at Showtime, they actually like one another. There is a good feeling between both guys. Both guys respect one another. Forget all the talk, to sell a fight. These two guys like one another. They get on well. It's a little different with the relationship between Joshua and Fury. There have been reports in the past where Joshua and Fury have spoken, and conversations haven't been as pleasant as they could have been. And you also have to consider the relationship between the two managers or promoters, Hearn and Warren. Now, I believe both guys, Wilder and Fury, want to make the fight happen. I believe Wilder truly wanted to fight Joshua in November, December time. I really believe that. And I believe that this fight could have happened. But because of the fact that I think Joshua wanted this fight to happen, I'm not sure if his promoter wanted the fight to happen. And so you have a situation here where not only you've got to look at it this way. Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn, if you look at Matchroom and BT Sports or Box Nation, are night and day in terms of the power that Hearn has at Sky Sports as opposed to what Warren has with BT and formerly Box Nation. And you've also got to ask yourself the question about Tyson Fury. Now, it's interesting that Billy Joe Saunders now is going to be fighting. It looks like he's going to be fighting on Daz with Andrade. And it's interesting that Fury now is going to be going up against Wilder. From my looking of things, it looks like there are two guys that Warren is quite happy to cash out with. Two guys that he's probably said, you know what? It's time to put this to bed. It's time to end this. For whatever reason, Billy Joe pulling out of fights, Billy Joe not being a big ticket seller. Billy Joe might be more hassle than he's worth. You just don't know what goes on behind the closed doors. And with Tyson Fury, again, you just don't know. Is Tyson Fury a massive ticket seller? That's open to question. The other thing that's very much open to question is Tyson Fury himself in terms of, well, on the outside, you can look great. You can look great for the camera. You can look great hitting pads. But Tyson Fury and Ben Davison would know. They would know, or Tyson himself would know, how much is left in the tank. You know what? Tyson could say, you know what? I can't be doing another 3 years of this. I can't be hanging around until 2020 to find out if I'm good enough anymore. Screw it. Let me get the fight. And if I win, I win. And if I don't, I don't. He's not going to tell you that. He's not going to tell the paid public that. He's not going to tell his fans that, because that would just be suicide. And, he's been there before. But There's no doubt in the heart of Tyson Fury or Deontay Wilder. Both guys will fight one another. I have no doubts about that. And this fight will happen quicker than Joshua versus Wilder. And we also have to ask financially: can Warren compete with Matchroom? What's the deal like with BT Sports? Is it a secure deal? How, and the money Tyson's being paid out. I mean, who's paid that money out? And is Frank looking to recoup that money? If he's looking to recoup that money, then hell, November, December, the fight will happen. If it's about recouping money, it's about recouping investment. If it's about walking away from a deal, if it's the BT deal isn't great, if it's the fact that Frank is looking to pull himself out of boxing, you just don't know. Nobody knows. But these are some good reasons as to believe Fury versus Wilder will happen. I believe it will happen. Remember what I said to you. Good people look after good people. Now, the story is on the street, what I heard, what I recently heard is that there are some problems with the BT deal. There are problems with the BT deal. Now, I'm not personally saying this, and I can't be quoted for this. There are problems with the BT deal, and this basically is a cash out. Warren can't come out on Front Street and say, yeah, this is a cash out fight. So they're both taking a gamble. Warren and Fury are taking a gamble in the hope that there's something left in the tank. Fury could be finished. He could be finished. I mean, if a guy doesn't want to box anymore, if he doesn't have the heart to want to box no more, and he just wants to put himself into one big fight, then fine. But you have to give Tyson Fury credit for it. But I will say this much. This wasn't the original plan, I don't think. I think the plan was for Tyson to fight in 2019, like I said. So if this fight happens, the only reason why this fight happens is a smash and grab. That is it. Smash and grab. And the fact that Tyson Fury isn't the fighter he once was, that's apparent. And he himself doesn't want to be in boxing much longer. Boxing fans can have their own opinion on that, but a fighter knows. And you have to be a fighter to know that, or a sportsman to know when it's time to give up, when you know you've knackered your body. Those hard nights, partying, the depression, the supposed coke. If these things are all true, obviously he put on a lot of weight and he took off a lot of weight and he came into the first camp to lose weight. Can he stick to it? Has he got the discipline to stick to it? Nobody knows. And Tyson's not going to open his mouth and say, you know what? He said it before, and that probably wouldn't have done ticket sales any favours. But as far as I'm concerned, this fight will happen, barring nothing goes wrong with the Pianetta fight, which I can't see. I expect Tyson to beat Pianetta. But I guess it's how he deals with Pianetta and how much is left in Tyson. He may look great on the pads. He may look great, but it's how much he's got left. I don't believe this is a cherry pick from Wilder's team, and it's nonsense. How can you cherry pick the unified heavyweight champion of the world? If both guys are going to fight, both guys want it. And if Wilder beats Fury, then who's left? Anthony Joshua. I won't for 1 second. I will not believe for 1 second this is a cherry pick. How can it be a cherry pick? The unified champion of the world, the numero uno, the number one guy in the division. How can you turn around and say it's a cherry pick? That's absolute nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. It's not a cherry pick. How can you cherry pick against the guy that beat Vladimir Klitschko, who is the number one guy, arguably the number one guy in the division? It's not a cherry pick. It's a cash out. I'll agree with that, but not a cherry pick. Some people just won't give other people credit for what they do. Deontay Wilder was considered. If Deontay Wilder ducked Luis Ortiz, he'd have been considered a chicken. He fights Luis Ortiz, the baddest man in the division, the man that everyone says technically boxing fans, people who understand the sport of boxing, understand how technically sound Luis Ortiz is. So, you know, everyone, the people in boxing, I'm talking to boxing fans. I'm talking about people who understand the sport of boxing, understand how dangerous Luis Ortiz is. And Luis Ortiz reminded us of that just, I guess, Conjanu over the last weekend. That straight left hand. So for me, like I've said, if Joshua were to fight Fury now, people would say it's not a cherry pick. They'd say it's a fight. So for me, I'm not getting involved with talking things about cherry picking or be original. Come up with your own statements. Come up with your own ideas. Don't follow everybody else. As far as I'm concerned, this fight for me is to do with finances and finances only. What is the state of the BT deal? What is the state of Tyson Fury's body on the real? Not what he's telling the press or what he's sitting down telling the media. What does he really feel deep down close? And the 2 years out, or however many years he had out with his family, does he really want to be in this sport any longer? Does he really want to be in this sport any longer? So, there we go. Those are my thoughts. There is nobody in the heavyweight division calling out Luis Ortiz. Nobody. Say what you want. But the way I look at it is this. I'm looking at what I see now in 2018. I'm looking at the state of Tyson Fury. That is what I'm seeing. I'm looking at everyone before the fight. He's in great condition. He's in great shape. He's this and that. Then come the scales. People then see what he looks like. Let's see what Tyson Fury looks on the scales. He looks slimmer, but let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. I believe it will happen. And these are from people that I've spoken to that are involved. Not people who are over YouTube. People involved with the sport. People who are close to boxing and understand what's going on. This is about money. So, everyone's entitled to their opinions. This is what I'm telling you. This fight will happen. I'm giving Fury and Wilder full credit for giving us the best fights in world boxing. You know, it's a shame that Fury hasn't got all the time to get himself as fit, but he's got plenty of time between now and November. He's got the Pianetta fight, and then he'll fight in November, December against Wilder. You know, so I think it's a great fight. So you're either going to give the current fighters in the world credit, or you're going to continue being one of these people that hate and hate and hate, and then when people retire, then you're going to call them the greatest ever. For years, people were hating on Lennox Lewis. When Lennox Lewis retired, oh, he's one of the greatest heavyweights of all time. Make your mind up. Appreciate what you've got in front of you. Most people understand the sport and what they have in front of them. But hopefully by December, Fury will be in best shape possible. But it's got nothing to do with your physical shape. It's got nothing to do with what you look like in your physical shape. It's mentally. It's mentally. It's mentally. That's what I think. I believe this fight will happen. You're entitled to your opinions. This fight will happen. You don't know how much Tyson has left as far as I'm concerned. You don't know how much he's had left. So far, I've called this down the line so far. And I'm now telling you that Fury Wilder will happen. I said 2 years ago he should vacate the belts and have the linear championship and defend that. I said that. It ended up happening. I said he wouldn't fight until 2018. It happened. I'm now telling you that Fury versus Wilder will happen for a number of reasons, and I'm explaining what those reasons are. So, There we go. That's it. Can we all make your minds up about it? Fury versus Wilder is happening on the basis of Pianetta. Fury getting rid of Pianetta. And unless something happens in that fight where Fury doesn't feel that he's fit enough or he's not ready enough, I believe the fight will happen. But as I said, if we want to know if the fight is really going to happen, we need to be asking ourselves the questions about the BT deal. The BT deal. What happened with the Box Nation deal? The relationship between Fury and Wilder. Very good relationship. This is what I've seen off camera, not on camera. A good relationship those two guys have got. And personally, speaking to Fury over the years, that's what I'm basing it off. And if you are going to fight Tyson Fury, if you're Deontay Wilder, you don't wait until 2019 to fight him. You take the opportunity now to fight him. That's what you do. That's smart business. That's smart business. That's a linear champion out of the way. And all you've got is Joshua left. So if Wilder were to beat Fury in December and then go on to fight Joshua in April, and he were to beat Joshua in April, who's left? You've beaten Ortiz, you've beaten Fury, and then you go on and beat Joshua. Man, that's pound for pound greatness right there. That's pound for pound greatness right there. That's pound for pound. Regardless, you look at your resume, you beat Ortiz, you beat Fury, and you beat Joshua. If you beat those three guys, if Joshua beat Fury, Wilder, and Ortiz, everyone will be saying he's the greatest since Muhammad Ali. So if Wilder does beat Fury, and he would have come off of beating Ortiz, who everyone was raving about. He's now he's now going to fight Tyson Fury instead of fighting Dominic Breazeale, and then go on and fight Deontay Wilder next year, April, if that's what they're talking about. Just think that a second. I think that is brilliant. It's I said it before, it's an easier fight to negotiate. No BS. Warren will make the fight, make the deal, and it'll happen. Like I've explained the reasons before. Right, I'm out of here. Have a great day, and look out on BWTM Sports. We've got a whole load of footage to be loading up for you, uploading today to you. Hope you enjoy it. Check out the Anthony Yard interview. Check out Anthony Yard and the pads. Check out Muhammad, Bilal, and I've got lots more footage to come from other fighters as well. So check it out. All the best.